If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio. But you have to sacrifice 1 summer, 2 summers, 3 summers, whatever you want to do. You know, when everyone else is out enjoying themselves, you could be in the gym. It's only 1 year. It's only 1 summer, you know, and then when the calendar comes back around, you're sat there in May and you're like, I look amazing. All I have to keep doing is just lifting heavy shit, and I can maintain this throughout the whole summer as long as I take care of my diet, don't drink too much. This is going to be a really, really good summer. I look fantastic. But trying to rush it from this day onwards, like anybody who's sat here now is thinking, I've got a holiday or this summer I really want to get at it. I understand with COVID and stuff, you want to make the most of it. You know, this summer's, I think this summer's going to be the highest consumption of alcohol of all time. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about getting in shape for summer and why so many people make this giant mistake, especially men. You know, it's pretty easy for women. They just do a little bit of cardio and some leg days and you can pretty much figure your body out for the summer. But so many guys think I'm going to change my life in that 6-month periods, yet they haven't really been building the muscle. So they'll say, oh, I was bulking during winter. You weren't, you were just getting fat, okay? You were just eating excess calories that you didn't really need. You were putting on way too much weight, the Christmas weight. And then you got to January and you were like, well, I better do dry Jan and do some fucking workout routines and try and get back in shape. And personally, I don't think it works. I really don't think it works. I think if you try and rush your fitness journey in a 6-month period and say, okay, from January to, January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, it's about right. 6-month period from January to June. It's just not a long enough window. Like most of these fitness models took like 10 years to get in the shape that they're in today. And it took like 3 to look really, really good. And I think if you're carrying a lot of excess fat and you haven't hit the gym, you haven't lifted like heavy weights and stuff, and then in 6 months you think you're going to do a little bit of cardio, clean up your diet, and you're going to have abs and massive muscles and look fantastic, then you're insane. Now, if you want to look a little bit better, well, yeah, do that. But it shouldn't be your entire aim to say, okay, I'm going to get in shape for this summer. Like, I've always had the belief that you should if you're trying to get in shape, you're at the start of your journey, you should just do it based on timeline. It doesn't really matter. You know, you should just go, okay, how am I looking? It doesn't matter. Summer's coming up, but I'm currently bulking. What it is, do you know what I mean? But I think what a lot of guys should do more of is say, okay, I'm going to get in shape for next summer. I did this a few years ago. You know, if it wasn't for COVID, I'd be in the shape that I'm in now last summer. Or, well, yeah, the summer just gone by. Because the summer prior to COVID, I was in pretty good shape. I just finished a bulk. I was big and fat. You know, I'd put on a ton of weight. And I was just rolling around with my top off, a big hairy chest and an excess body fat, you know, just rolling around completely shame-free, didn't give a fuck, because I knew that this summer didn't matter. Like, it was what it was. I was just at the end of a bulk, whatever. And I knew I was going to cut in winter, do a small bulk, do a bit, and then obviously then COVID hit, and I was going to do a small cut, whatever, and then be in shape for next summer and really enjoy it next summer. I'm in that position now where my cut is going to perfectly align with the summer coming up. And that's what you need to do, is just stop saying in January, February, I have to rush my fitness journey. Because what you're going to do is have too big a calorie deficit. You know, you're going to starve yourself. You're going to do way too much cardio. You're going to train so hard that you're going to exhaust yourself and be like, God, I hate training. Like, it's not fun. Whereas if you take an extra year, let's say you're in February now, let's say February 1st as we are, and you say to yourself, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sacrifice this summer. I'm going to start lifting heavy weights with the calorie maintenance, you know, because I've put on a ton of weight over Christmas, but I don't want to lose the size. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift some really heavy shit. I'm going to do that until around about August. I'm going to start cutting in September. And then around about December time until maybe end of January, I'm going to do a mini bulk. I'm just going to put a little bit more on, or end of February. And then cut again for the next summer. You know, and what you've done is you've sacrificed one whole summer because it's too short a time frame to do it in. You know, people get there in 1st of March and they're like, I've got a holiday in June, I'm going to get in shape. You know, if you're a Hollywood actor and you can take some steroids, yeah, you can get some good results, but it's just never gonna. It's never going to work for the average person, okay? You cannot go in, if you've never really trained before, you jump into the average gym and you're trying to look like a supermodel in 3 months. You know, I think, and then what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, I'm going to bulk and put on some muscle for this summer, but then I need to cut quick. I need to drain myself. I used to work with the guy, right? He was going on holiday and he was training twice a day. He was going on holiday with his girlfriend. I think, you know, he just really wanted abs or whatever. He was on the treadmill like every single day. He was draining himself. He was depleted. Real handsome guy. And by the end of his cut, like every day he'd come in, his fucking bags in his eyes down here. Skin was just looking pale. And he was like an Asian guy. He just looked terrible compared to how he looked when I first arrived. He didn't look healthy at all. He depleted himself. Wasn't taking care of his body. And in that scenario, I was like, mate, you should just sack off this summer. Yeah, it's a holiday, whatever, but just bulk, just be on the beach with a belly, you know, and then next summer you're the king, you know, or the summer after that, it's your summer to shine, and all of the ones after that. But you have to sacrifice 1 summer, 2 summers, 3 summers, whatever you want to do. You know, when everyone else is out enjoying themselves, you could be in the gym. It's only 1 year. It's only 1 summer, you know, and then when the calendar comes back around, you're sat there in May and you're like, I look amazing. All I have to keep doing is just lifting heavy shit, and I can maintain this throughout the whole summer as long as I take care of my diet, don't drink too much. This is going to be a really, really good summer. I look fantastic. But trying to rush it from this day onwards, like anybody who sat here now is thinking, I've got a holiday or this summer I really want to get at it. I understand with COVID and stuff, you want to make the most of it. You know, this summer's, I think this summer's going to be the highest consumption of alcohol of all time. Like anybody who releases a beer, you know, at this point or something, like a product that's alcohol based, or like opens a bar or something like that, or whatever, you know, just 3 or 4 shipping containers and create like a rooftop bar type of setup. Going to make millions. I think people are going to be out 7 nights a week in the summer. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be quite fun to be involved in. I think I might enjoy this summer a little bit more just for mental health purposes. You know, it could be quite funny to go back down to London and just enjoying a few nights out. But anybody I personally think who is, you know, in a wise sense, anybody who is sat there right now and says I want to be in shape for summer or I've got a holiday, just wait. Just build that muscle first, all the way until August. Get to the end of August, get to September, and be like, okay, that was hard because I really wanted to enjoy it. You know, which you still can, but you didn't look your best, but you kind of sacrificed. Do your cut. Because it's winter doesn't mean you can't cut, okay? Get to like December time, and we might even lock down again at that point. You know, the governments, the way they're acting right now is just shambolic. So it's probably better to do your bulk now with the heavy weights, you know, when the gyms reopen for summer. And then when you're cutting in winter, it's a little bit easier to do because, you know, you can... you don't necessarily, let's say, have to be doing like a record deadlift. You can just do a maintenance one, stuff like that. It's easier to get those sort of weights and whatever. You know, body weight training can maintain some muscle as long as you're taking enough protein. It's hard to do, but I think you'll thank yourself doing it in that order rather than cutting for summer. Gyms are closed again. Now you're the skinniest you've ever been. Like, it's just not going to be a good scenario. But yeah, miss this summer for a lot of people. Sacrifice it. We're all so young, it doesn't matter, you know. Even if you're like 36 years old, just sacrifice a summer. Then you're going into your like 37th year, 38th year, and you're shredded, you look fantastic. Now your time to shine. I just think it's a much better strategy than trying to rush it and deplete yourself and have your calories like a 1,000 calorie deficit because you really want abs. And yeah, you get them because you just look terrible, but you look sick and unhealthy. And then the second that you have like 2 beers, your body stores it all as fat because it's in a panic state. It's like emergency calories getting stored on the body, and you whack it all back on, and it was just like a temporary thing. Like I've done it when I was young. Like you deplete your body. You have like tiny amount of calories. You're barely eating anything, and then you're doing like sprints and cardio and everything. You're constantly training, and you look in the mirror and you're like, God, I've got veins. Like my abs are popping. But as soon as you have one meal, you're like, it's gone. Or, you know, you have like one beer and your body just looks like shit and you feel weak. You're like, that's no way to live. Like, take a longer amount of time, do it properly, build the physique, cut the body fat very slightly, and get in a good natural position, you know? You're not a boxer. You're not trying to stand on the scales and be like, damn, yes, I made weight for one day or one night and then whack it all back on like 20 pounds the next day. Your aim is to look good around the clock and be healthy and be functionable, you know, and efficient with what you're doing. in order to do that, you cannot do that in like 4 to 6 months. You cannot rush it from February to June. So take an extra year, go round the calendar again. And if you're like trying to get in shape for this year, then make your new target next year. You know, get in shape for summer 2022. I know it sounds shit, but you'll thank yourself next year, I promise you. If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio.